girls with their nails done now.
The movie opens up in the jungle and the beach. There is being written Japan. 1100 BC. We see something really big stepping on the land. And we soon get that it's Muta Prime. She is walking towards something and we get to see a Godzilla-like creature Dagon, which is roaring at Muta Prime. Muta Prime gets angry and she's attacking him. Dagon swings his tail but Muta dodges and she is attacking Dagon and she bites him in the neck. Dagon tries to take her out but Muta Prime is so strong. Dagon finally takes her out and he is pushing her away. Muta Prime is looking at him with so angry face. Dagon roared at Muta Prime. Muta didn't wait more and she attacked him and she bit him in the leg and she soon got him to the ground. Dagon was trying to get up but Muta Prime was holding him so strong and she used his special legs to put 2 eggs into Dagon's body. And then she left. Dagon was so damaged but he wasn't dead yet. He opened his eyes and he stood up slowly and he started swimming into the ocean, while 2 eggs were growing into his body which were feeding on his body. Just imagine 2 eggs feeding on you and growing in your body. Dagon was in so big pain. But he anyway swam to the Philippines. And he found the cave. He got inside and he was so close to death. Then he died and laid on the ground, while the eggs were still feeding on his dead body. That's how Dagon ended up in his final place. After that there is a title. Present day. We see 4 trucks which are going somewhere. There is being written Banbari, Central Africa Republic. We see an underground bunker entrance-like door. As it seems it's secret base of Apex. I decided that in Kaogan changed their name. The trucks get inside and we see Conrad coming down from one of the trucks. Alan Jonah welcomes him. And they start walking in corridor. Then they get into a giant underground base and we see giant plant flower-like thing. Bioland, which is surrounded by troops and some cranes. Then Alan Jonah asked Conrad, "Where is the blood? Looks like they needed blood of something." Then Conrad answered that they sent special team to take a blood. After that we get to see a shot of destroyed Tokyo. Then we see trucks which are riding in the streets. Then we see armored forces which are soldiers of Apex. They get out of the truck and they start hiding in ashes like they are waiting for something. Then we see 2 of these Toroyas crabs which are walking in the streets. The soldiers soon took out their special weapons which was holding the crabs on the ground. The crabs were pretty big. Around 16 feet. Then Apex brought blood containers and they killed crabs to have taken the blood. They took the blood and they made both crabs empty from blood. And they took blood away. After that we see Madison Russell which is preparing her suitcase to go to Hong Kong. Then we see Dr. Chen which coming out from her room with suitcase. Dr. Chen and Madison Russell are going to Hong Kong. Then they get outside the house and we see Mark Russell with brand new Jeep. They get inside the Jeep and they are going to airport. Soon they farewell each other and Madison and Chen are getting in the airplane and they are leaving. Then Mark Russell calls someone and he is saying that he is coming. Then we see entrance of some underground base of Monarch. We see Mark Russell which is sitting in a military jeep and they are getting him inside the base. After he walks a corridor he sees finished and badass human-made giant Mecha Godzilla, the mechanic titan which was built on the bones of Dagon. Mark Russell was excited and then Charles Kraus, the head of the secret base, told Mark that they should have taken it to Tokyo. Then Mark Russell told him that how they were going to do this. Then Charles answered that aircraft carrier was coming. After that we see helicopter which is going to Narsok, Greenland. We soon get to see Monarch members which are coming out from the base. And we see Mothra larva. She is getting out of the mountain and she is climbing on the top of the mountain. She soon starts to grow up and she unleashes her wings. From the far we see Mothra twins Dr. Chen and Ling, which are singing Mothra song. Mothra grows on her full size. And she starts flying up. After that we see Apex Base and Banbari. We see them evacuating the base because the flower of Biolant is starting to break out. They get out soon and they start getting into the vehicles and they're leaving. We soon see Biolant which is breaking out from underground base and she starts going towards Amazon jungle. Long walk, right? After that we see the helicopter which is flying somewhere and we soon get to see Skull Island. We see small base of Mechagodzilla on Skull Island. They're humans just sitting in the controlling center and in front of them is small Mechagodzilla, 132 feet. People there didn't have much work to do. Some of them were scrolling through their phones, some of them were sleeping. Soon they are being attacked by Apex. And they kill everyone there. Then we see Nancy Conrad, Jacob Thomas and David Denver from previous scenario. Then they stand in front of small Mechagodzilla. Then David asked, "Okay. Now what?" Then Nancy answered that the big Mechagodzilla which they needed was on aircraft carrier and the aircraft carrier was surrounded with so good battleships for safety. But this 40-meter giant is not to break through them. Then David was about to ask something when Jacob told him, "We use small ones to get big one." Then David got everything and they started launching small Mechagodzilla. Then another small Mechagodzilla also got launched, as it seems Apex attacked second base too. Then we see aircraft carrier which is transporting big Mechagodzilla. And it's surrounded by two battleships. Soon one of the battleships gets attacked by their rockets and we see two small Mechagodzillas which are swimming towards the aircraft carrier. Monarch started preparing their cannons. And they tried to turn them off but Apex turned off every type of control from Monarch. Small Mechagodzillas attacked battleships and they started destroying everything. They soon sunk both of the battleships. Then Apex arrived on aircraft carrier with helicopter and they killed some people there. Then when almost every Monarch member was dead, Alan Jonah came down from helicopter. David also followed him and Alan Jonah told him, "Okay, here is our mechanic Godzilla." Then David looked at Mechagodzilla, big Mechagodzilla, and he said, "Okay, now let me get in." He soon got in and they turned big Mechagodzilla. They dropped small Mechagodzillas and big Mechagodzilla destroyed small ones. Then Mechagodzilla roared and he swam to the ocean. After that we see Dr. Chen and Madison which are arriving from Greenland to Hong Kong with private jet. And they are going to hotel with jeep. They soon get into the 5-star hotel room and they start resting. After that we see Biolant which is swimming towards another beach. She soon gets to Amazon jungle. And she is walking on the jungle. She soon finds her place to rest and she is resting. Then she starts digging the ground and she buries herself in the ground. Later we see Godzilla swimming towards Amazon jungle but he is around 500 kilometers away. And before he arrives there Biolant will be fully fed. After that we see Apex base where Alan Jonah is talking to Conrad. Alan Jonah says that they should start destroying one city to cause Godzilla go there and they will kill him using Mechagodzilla. Then Conrad said that it was good idea. And then Nancy asked, "Okay, at which city are we going?" Then Alan Jonah answered, "Hong Kong." After we see Godzilla which is swimming towards the beach. He soon rises and he walks on the beach of the land. He is looking around and we see Biolant which is grown on full size and she is rising. Godzilla gets angry and he is about to attack when Rodan sitting next to Godzilla. We soon get to see Mothra coming out from the clouds and she is joining the fight. Biolant couldn't wait anymore. She roared so loud and she pulled up her foreheads and he started choking Godzilla. Then Rodan attacked Biolant and she started starching her face. Then Mothra plugged her legs into Biolant's body. Biolant got hurt and she took her legs out of Godzilla's legs and she swinged them to Rodan and she soon got Rodan to the ground. But then Mothra struck her in the face. Biolant got so angry but then Godzilla struck her with atomic breath. Biolant tried to swing one of her heads but Godzilla caught it and he ate it off her. Biolant swinged another head to Godzilla and it bit Godzilla in the neck. Then Rodan and Mothra attacked Biolant and they started fighting her. Then we see Osprey landing far from them and we see Dr. Mark Russell, Dr. Stanton and G-Team, which are watching from far away. Godzilla was trying to attack Biolant but Biolant soon got him to the ground and she soon dropped Rodan to the ground. Then Biolant was going towards Godzilla when Mothra struck her in eyes and she made Biolant blind. Biollante got exhausted and Shisuni got knocked to the ground, then Godzilla caught his mouth with his hands. Biollante was trying to fight but she was so weak. And Godzilla struck to Biollante with atomic breath right in the mouth. Then we see Dr. Stanton which is saying, "Long live the king." After that we see Apex Base. We see Alan Jonah which is angry that Biollante is dead, but then Conrad said that there were other hopes too. But then Nancy Jacob asked. After Godzilla fought Biollante which was nearly 2 times bigger than him. How can we hope that he doesn't beat Mechagodzilla which is bigger with 30 meters only? Then Nancy agreed to Jacob and she said that only one creature was enough, but then Conrad and Alan left and then Alan Jonah said. Who said that there is only one? Then Nancy laughed and she asked, "Do you seriously think that 40-metered mechas would be useful?" Then Alan Jonah answered. "No, but I've not mentioned 40-metered mechas." Then Jacob asked. "Okay, then what's second hope?" Alan Jonah answered. "King Ghidorah." Then Jacob and Nancy laughed again. Then Jacob told him. "Seriously, Ghidorah's dead over the year and his head is empty from blood and it started to get skeletoned." Then Alan Jonah answered. "What do you think? What did we bring the blood of JM07's crabs? And why do we keep Kong's finger?" Jacob answered. "Probably. You want to sell them?" Then Alan answered. "No. I want to mix their blood into one place which is Ghidorah's head." Then Jacob asked him how he'd do that. Then Conrad, "We should take his head on the top of the mountain and then hit some electricity after we take bloods in his head. And he will get slowly revived." Then Jacob told him that it wasn't that easy. But then Patricia said that it was good idea. After that we see Godzilla which is going from Amazon jungle and he is swimming in the ocean. There are Mothra and Rodan which are following him. But they fly above Godzilla. After that we see Mechagodzilla which is walking in the sea and it's going towards Hong Kong. After that we see Hong Kong and we see Madison Russell which is on pretty good mood. She is playing Fortnite on her PS4, when she hears the roar of robotic Godzilla. She looked from the glass wall and she saw Mechanic Godzilla which was shooting rockets at the city. She got scared and then Dr. Chen and Madison went out from a hotel. Soon hotel got shot by rockets and it got halfway destroyed. Then we see Dr. Chen and Madison running away but Mechagodzilla stamps in front of them. Then Mechagodzilla looks at Madison and Chen. Then it's about to hit them the foot when it heard the roar of Godzilla. Mechagodzilla looked at the beach and it saw Godzilla which was walking towards Mech. Then Godzilla roared and we saw Mothra and Rodan entering the city. Mothra sat on Godzilla's dorsal fins. And Rodan sat on one of the buildings and he roared. I really wanted Rodan to do this amazing thing from old movies again. And then Godzilla went towards Mechagodzilla.
After that we see Alan Jonah which is arriving somewhere with helicopter, and we soon get that he is on the top of the mountain, and we get to see King Ghidorah's head which is put in front of him. And we see few troops of Apex which are surrounding King Ghidorah's head. The head is also surrounded with some type of cannons that shoot electricity. Then Conrad is coming with Alan Jonah and he tells him okay, it's about to start and we better not be too close. Then everyone is getting into helicopters and they are flying far with 600 meters and they watch reviving process. Then cannons start to hit electricity to Ghidorah's head. Apex mixed Destroyers. Kong's and Violant's blood to have made Ghidorah even stronger. Then head is being hit by too much electricity and it opened the eyes. The head was zombie-like but it regenerated soon. Then Ghidorah's neck started to grow in size. It got full-sized neck. At first he was like Manda, but then body started to grow out of it and it soon got legs, then its wings grew up, and soon another 2 heads were grown. Ghidorah was already fully grown, and it was a perfect organism. He stood up and thunder hit right behind of him. Then we see Alan Jonah which is watching from helicopter, and he says if the queen can't kill the king the false king will. Then they fly away and disappear in the dust. We see Ghidorah realizing that he is now able to fight. He is roaring with sound of happiness and he flies up. After that we see Hong Kong where Godzilla and Mechagodzilla are fighting. Godzilla tries to bite Mechagodzilla in the neck, but Mechagodzilla dodges and he hits Godzilla. After that we see Rodan attacking Mechagodzilla, but Mechagodzilla soon dodges and Rodan falls on the ground. Then Mothra attacks Mechagodzilla and she plugs her legs into Mechagodzilla, but Mechagodzilla soon takes her out and it's thrown her at one of the building and it knocks her out. Then Mechagodzilla looks back at Godzilla and it sees that Godzilla's dorsal fins are blue. Mechagodzilla was about to roar when Godzilla struck it with atomic breath. Mechagodzilla got so damaged and it knocked to the ground. Then Godzilla went towards it. Mechagodzilla soon stood up and it hit Godzilla in the face. Godzilla strike back and he bit it in the neck and he started dragging it. Soon he crashed Mechagodzilla to one of the buildings and the whole building fell on Mechagodzilla. Then we airplane flying in the sky and we see soldiers which are doing halo jump to rescue survivors. Soon they arrive at the city and they start searching survivors, but soon 4 of them is being crushed by Mechagodzilla's leg. And we get back to Godzilla. Mechagodzilla fighting. Godzilla was biting Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla was punching. The battle was going super crazy. Mechagodzilla hit its tail at Godzilla, but Godzilla caught the tail. Mechagodzilla soon hit him hands, and it's knocking him to the ground and Godzilla falls right in front of Madison and Chen. Then Mechagodzilla was about to hit him again when Rodan attacked it. Mechagodzilla started fighting Rodan, and we get back to fallen Godzilla drive. Chen was telling Madison Russell touched Godzilla with her hand, and she started talking to Godzilla that he should have risen. Godzilla opened his eyes. Madison told him that world needed him, and he should have risen and killed Mechagodzilla. Then we hear Mechagodzilla and Rodan fighting sounds and we get to Mechagodzilla which is knocking Rodan to the ground, and it's heading towards Godzilla. Godzilla still doesn't get up and we see soldiers which came down to save them. Then Dr. Chen and Madison are leaving the place where Godzilla is laying, and we see Mechagodzilla which is unlocking his knifed hands, and it was about to kill Godzilla when King Ghidorah attacked Mechagodzilla, and King Ghidorah was tearing it apart. Then Ghidorah took Mechagodzilla in the air and he dropped it to the ground. Mechagodzilla was so damaged when King Ghidorah shot his gravity beams to it and he completely destroyed Mechagodzilla. Then King Ghidorah hears some noises. He looks at the right and he sees Godzilla which is standing up.
Ghidorah looks at Godzilla with so angry face. Godzilla first thought that Ghidorah was helping him, but then he realized that they were ultimate rivals and he roared at King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah roared too, but then Rodan flew in to throw a part of building to Ghidorah. Then Mothra flew in and she starched Ghidorah's wings and she sat on Godzilla. So you got what you wanted. Godzilla, Mothra and Rodan versus King Ghidorah without humans. Ghidorah gets angry and he flies up and attacks Godzilla. Godzilla catches him through his neck and he is dropping him to the ground. Soon Rodan attacks Ghidorah and he starts biting him in the neck. But Ghidorah soon stands up and he takes Rodan out. But then Godzilla attacks him and he bites him in the neck. Ghidorah bites Godzilla with 2 other heads, but then Ghidorah flies up a bit and he drops Godzilla to the back. Godzilla tries to get up and Ghidorah hits him his tail and he is knocking him out. Then we see Mothra which is flying towards Ghidorah. Ghidorah is charging his gravity beams to shoot Mothra when Rodan flies in front of Mothra and Rodan gets hit instead of Mothra and Rodan falls. Mothra realizes that and she attacks Ghidorah and she plunges her legs into Ghidorah's body. Then Godzilla gets up and he is knocking Ghidorah to the ground. Mothra is stick to Ghidorah and she is drinking his blood. Then Godzilla steps his foot on Ghidorah's body and Mothra gets Ghidorah off and she is sighting on Ghidorah's center head and she is starching him. Then Godzilla takes Ghidorah through his tail and he is throwing Ghidorah at one of the buildings and he is knocking Ghidorah out. Ghidorah seemed way more weaker than his previous version. Then Godzilla started going towards Ghidorah when Ghidorah rose and he attacked Godzilla. But then Mothra attacked his right head and Rodan attacked left head, while Godzilla attacked middle head, and they made teamwork just like 1964. Ghidorah was trying to escape but they were holding him so strong. But King Ghidorah finally escapes and he is catching Mothra with his heads and he is tearing her apart. Then he is throwing her at Godzilla. Godzilla dodges and he is going towards Ghidorah. Ghidorah flies up but Godzilla hits him his tail and Ghidorah gets so damaged. But Ghidorah soon he recovers and he is attacking Godzilla with his 3 heads. Godzilla catches one of his heads and he is dropping Ghidorah to the ground. And then he steps on his back and he is charging his atomic breath and he is shooting Ghidorah in the neck and his left head is being cut off. Then Rodan and Mothra are taking left head in the air and they are tearing it apart. Mothra is starching it while Rodan is eating it. Then 2-headed Ghidorah tries to escape but Godzilla holds him so strong. Then Godzilla is biting Ghidorah in right head and he is tearing this head from him and Ghidorah has left one head and then Godzilla is attacking Ghidorah in the wings and he is tearing the wings apart. Ghidorah was so weak when Godzilla stepped on him. And he roared for the victory. Then he looked back at Ghidorah and he crushed his head with his legs. Godzilla has won once again against Ghidorah. Then we see Mothra and Rodan sitting in front of Godzilla. Godzilla was so damaged and tired because he fought 3 monsters. And each of them did so big damage and Godzilla started swimming in the ocean. He soon swam into the ocean and he soon disappears in the ocean. Then we see Mothra and Rodan flying away. After that we see Mark Russell, which is so worried and he is waiting for Jet of Monarch, which is bringing survivors. Then he meets Dr. Chen and Madison and they hug each other. Then we see Godzilla, which is swimming underwater, and he is swimming in some type of cave, as it seems Godzilla found his new house. In end credits scene we see ocean and we soon get to the beach and we see Kong, which is roaring.